You know, bow hunting turkeys is one of the most rewarding yet challenging hunts out there. Unlike a deer, a turkey's vitals are a lot smaller and shift depending on what posture they're in. So if you don't know exactly where to aim, you could be ended up making a bad shot, losing the bird, or watching them fly off. So in this video, I just want to break down the best shot placement on a turkey, what angles to take the shot on, and maybe what are some angles to avoid. The turkeys are built differently than big game. Their heart and lungs and major arteries are tightly packed, located right above the drumsticks and slightly forward. I brought a couple friends here. They're a little nervous to come out, probably on the basis of what this video is all about. But just taking a look at this Jake decoy for a second here. Classic broadside shot. So when I say right above the drumstick and slightly forward, we're kind of talking about right in this general area. So, where a perfect shot might be on a deer might be a poor shot on a turkey. And we're going to break down each of the best shot angles to take and what to aim for. All right, so first up is the broadside shot. This is one of the most common shots that's going to present itself, but it can be a little tricky. A turkey's windshield right here is pretty dense, and hitting too far back is only going to result probably in a wounded bird. And so the best place to aim, like I was saying earlier, is slightly above the drumstick and right kind of where this wing is connecting to the body. So we're trying to talk about this general area right here. I'm going to overlay a picture here as I'm talking of kind of the general layout of a turkey's organs based on whether he's kind of just in a standing position or strutting, and what kind of that looks like as far as where maybe those heart and lungs could be located. A solid hit here means a short recovery. Probably should be a short recovery. Next up is that quartering two shot. So facing the camera, if you're the shooter, the turkey's kind of standing in this general spot or facing this general area. I would avoid taking this shot depending on where you're aiming. A lot of these shots I'm talking about are body shots. If you're aiming for those head shots, there's probably not a bad shot that's going to present itself. Obviously, if this was a full strutted up tom and he's facing away from you and you're trying to do the head shot, not going to be able to see it. But, so focusing in on the body shots in this spot, but if you're taking the head shot, there's probably not a bad angle to take. But so the quartering two shot, if we're focusing on a heart and lung shot, that turkey's breastplate here is pretty thick. And shoulders gotta act like armor, and an arrow can easily deflect off and fail to reach the vital. So if a bird is facing toward you at an angle, maybe like deer hunting, wait for a better opportunity to present itself. And the thing with turkey hunting and using decoys, there's probably going to be a better shot opportunity based off of them just working with the decoys. All right, next up is the quartering away shot. So we did broadside, we did quartering two. Now we're going to do quartering kind of away, so facing away from you. This is probably one of the best shots that you could take if you're focusing again on those body shots. This angle allows the arrow to pass through the vitals and into that offset wing. So if you're kind of picturing a vertical shot here of this thing, if you're coming in with that quartering two, you're taking out a lot of meat and organs, and then you're going to pin that arrow. If it doesn't pass through, you're going to pin it into that wing. Basically, this shot is going to be taking away his ability to run and fly away, which is obviously not what you want to have happen, is him run away or fly. And odds are you're going to get probably a lung or two in here and a heart shot with that quartering away. Next up is that frontal shot. If he's facing directly at you, staring right down the arrow. Again, if you're doing headshots, let her fly. But if this one could be a gamble, because while it does offer a direct shot, basically right underneath the beard is where I would be aiming through. I don't want to cut off his beard, but right through there is a straight shot at the vitals. But if he just angles off, because turkeys don't usually just stand there for too long, so if he just moves just a little bit, that can deflect off his breastplate or just be a bad shot altogether, miss. If you're inside 10 yards with a heavy broadhead, it can work. But again, waiting for that perfect angle. If we're aiming for the head, let her eat probably whatever angle I've been talking about here. But if you're just, focusing in on some center mass here, maybe waiting for that broadside or quartering away shot. All right, so we're talking about shot placements on this Jake decoy. Kind of this quarter strut Jake decoy. I'm going to switch it up here a little bit to the full strut. Now, obviously, I've only got half a bird here, but it'll still work. So we're talking again, if we're doing headshots and he's strutted up like this, that gives you a pretty clear indication of where, big white light bulb of where, if you're doing the headshots here. Again, right kind of in this Y shape here. if you hit that bird right here face on, he's dead. Another shot is kind of the Texas heart shot, is where he's, again, only have half a bird here, but the tail feathers here are kind of that indication. Basically, it's a straightaway shot from behind. It's kind of shooting right up the poop chute almost. And right where all these right where all these feathers meet is kind of that white, again, like the front, big white target of where, if you put that arrow right here, that arrow up the spine instantly is going to paralyze that bird and probably take out, you know, a heart shot, as the name of this shot indicates. But if you're patient and wait for this shot, it's one of the best ways to keep a turkey from flying off and being lost. And a nice thing about this kind of shot from behind is that bird can't see you. So when you draw back with your bow, if you're not hunting in a blind, he's not going to be able to see you draw back. So it kind of has a little beneficiary there too. All right, so next up I wanted to talk about broadhead choice. Now, I'm not going to get into the brand because it would be here all day, but basically I have two different styles of broadhead. I got a fixed blade and the mechanical. I've used both and have had varying success on both. I went 2 for 2 on mechanicals, and then last year lost a bird because of one. But also comes back into what we're talking about is shot placement. You know, the bird I shot last year, and I'll overlay that here as I'm speaking, but basically Noah shot his bird dead on spot, and I all of a sudden was like, oh, that bird's not leaving, I'm going to take a shot. Maybe rushed the shot a little bit, looked good. It was a quartering away shot, like we're talking about, great shot, but I was high. You know, if I would have been about an inch or two in more, it would have been a spine shot, that bird would have dropped, and that would have been doubled up, game over. You know, like we were talking about earlier, the quartering away, aiming for that offside leg, broadside's a great shot, and then that Texas heart shot from behind is the three that I would look for when I'm out hunting, I guess, for turkeys with a bow. Avoid those quartering 2 angles and be careful of those frontal shots. You know, the key obviously here is patience. Wait for the right angle, and you'll increase your chances of a quick, clean kill. You know, bow hunting turkeys takes precision, patience, and knowing where to aim, but also putting the time in. These arrows are going to fly straight, but only when you put that time in of preparation, shooting your bow before the season and well before the season, and even after, through the summer into deer season. So, you know, I look at hunting as a gift. Every time I step out into the woods, I'm reminded of Romans 1, verse 20, and it says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made." You know, out here you can't help, or out in the turkey woods, you can't help but see his hand in everything. You know, it's the sunrise over the woods, it's the gobble of a bird on the roost, even the challenge of making that perfect shot. It all reminds me that we're part of something bigger. So if you found this video helpful for you, hit that like button, subscribe, because it's going to help us put out more bow hunting tips, turkey videos, and you know, drop a shot below of what's your favorite shot placement is on a turkey for those people out there who are bow hunting. Good luck out there this season. Stay safe. May your arrows fly true and straight, and God bless.